Okay, hello. Here we go. Ready? Ephesians 3. Let's turn there to Ephesians. Pastor Risto and Tutti, good to see you. Always Imperio. And today is Finland's Independence Day. Yes. Is that the 6th? 6th. 104 years old? 105 years old, the country. So it's a big thing. It's a big thing that this country has its freedom and independence, and they fought for it and have enjoy it a lot. They enjoy it the way Americans enjoy our July 4th. That's our birthday. From independence from Britain, and and we're all wanting our countries to continue in their freedom, and human rights is important, my freedom of speech, my own values. I don't agree with everything. It's funny, there's a court case now going before the Supreme Court. Maybe somebody knows, Pastor Steve, you might know. Colorado passed some law that everybody has to be treated equally. Right? Do you know that, Pastor Steve? Okay, so what do you think about that? Should the government pass a law that everybody is treated equally? I don't think so. I don't understand that. What do you mean? Well, that's not defined. And what if you define it like in some weird way? Like so, there's some Christian, I don't know if it's a baker or what, will not provide services for a homosexual. So they're being brought in Colorado that they're breaking the law. So they make a law. Do you know where that is in the Bible? They make a law, for iniquity. Is Psalm 94? They frame mischief for the law, and also Daniel 6. Remember, you cannot pray to any god, right? You cannot pray to any god but to one of our Babylonian gods. Oh, yeah, okay, we passed that law. Well, Daniel's not going to do that. And same with treating people equally. I don't even understand what you mean. Like, what do you mean? I don't treat everybody equally. Some is in third grade, somebody's a senior in college, somebody is this way, somebody's that way, somebody's disabled, somebody doesn't know what they're doing. Somebody's a criminal, somebody's not. What do you mean, treat everybody equally? What's that? They use race. They say racism. Now, one of the Supreme Court judges, the recent one, the woman that just came on, she said that religion in America has been used to like support or reinforce racism. Religion in America is behind like the racism. Like, are you kidding me? Why do you say that? Like, what? Not at all. Yes, of course, anything can be used that way if you have racism in your heart, and you can say any number of things. So I get worked up about it, and it's not my place and not my calling to get into it so much that way. I just would rather, like, because it doesn't build people up. However, I feel that people should not be stupid, and that's a big problem in our country. We have intellectuals that are stupid, okay? And I mean that. Some politician in Louisiana just said that. It's a funny thing. I just saw it. My wife showed me a little video. His name is Kennedy, I believe. Anybody know about that guy? What is he? Senate? No, Congress or what? Congressman. What's his name? Kennedy. Is it Joseph? Okay. Yeah. He what? Not the one in Massachusetts. Did you say Massachusetts? Oh, he's related. Oh, he is? Okay. Well, he's conservative. Generally, Kennedys aren't. But this guy in Louisiana, isn't he in Louisiana? Okay. Well, I'm just rambling with the microphone. Pastor Schaller, what are you talking about? Oh, okay, okay. So go to Ephesians 3 and John. Okay, John Kennedy. Yeah, and there's a little video clip, you can find it on YouTube. And he's making fun of the woke people in Washington who are so intellectual but so stupid. And they have little Ziploc bags of kale, and they eat kale. And he said, I'm not going to eat kale because I'm going to be fat. You know, he's just making fun of these people. And I like it that people tell it the way it is. Like, come on. Like, this is ridiculous. So, and they will take our freedom away. That will happen with their stupid laws. Psalm 94:20, 94:19. They frame mischief by a law. It happened in Daniel 6. And, you know, with Jesus, when he was in trial, they were trying very hard to find what he was guilty of, remember? And some said after that, and they couldn't agree. Then finally they got two that would agree. They needed two witnesses, but it took time. And it'll take time for them to put you away too, right? It takes time to find the reason. But they can work at it and find it, and they found him guilty. And what was the thing he was guilty of with the two witnesses? That he would tear down the temple and raise it up in 3 days. But this he said about his body, but they heard it regarding the temple. Okay, so they were wrong, but that was enough. But even more, what was it that they said? The high priest said, "Tell us plainly, are you the Christ?" Right? And he said, "You said it, and you'll see me coming in the clouds of heaven, and every eye will see me." Right? It says in Revelation 1:7. Okay, so this rap is over in a minute. I'm almost done. I vented, okay. But I mean, come on. All right, so our morning staff meeting was about measurable things and immeasurable things. And this is Ephesians 3 in verse 18, 17. That Christ may dwell in your hearts by faith. That you being rooted and grounded in love. And this has to be where you are really living. I want you to think about it for a minute, where you are really living as a person. I have a little short paragraph. E. Stanley Jones was flying in a plane. He said, "I'm spiritually relaxed because I believe the central hypothesis of my life is right. Life is one long verification of that central hypothesis. This fact gives an inner sense of steadiness. This attitude toward life was tested in an airplane over St. Louis when we circled above the clouds for 2 hours trying to land. The ceiling was so low that we could not get under it." This is probably 1930s, when planes didn't have sophisticated ways of landing, so the cloud cover was low and they couldn't get under it. So I had time to think. So I wrote down a life conclusion. Quote, "I am up in the plane. We've been circling over these clouds for 2 hours. If we do not land safely, I would like to leave my last will and testament to my friends and fellow followers of Christ. There is peace, perfect peace. Apart from my unfaithfulness to the highest, there are no regrets about the general course of my life. Life with Christ is the way to live. In this hour, there is assurance. There is God underneath all the uncertainties of human existence. So I rest in God. God's best to you all, living or dying. I am His alone. glory. Signed, E. Stanley Jones. I try to take that central assurance into my work. The thing that is so centrally right will not let me down in the details. I meet these details in confidence. The word comforter means brave together. With him, I can be brave together. So I like the idea. I feel it. I feel it. I think you do also. When you have Christ in your heart, in your life, then everything is basically okay. And to live like that is the key to our peace. And, deep inside, because you live with yourself. When you go to bed at night, one brother said to me, on Friday night when I go to bed and I'm alone in my bed with the pillow, there's nobody there but me. And that's all that I have. It's me. And who I am is the key. And when Jesus is with you and he says to you, you are okay, I am with you, then you have that quiet peace and assurance with who you are. That's immeasurably awesome, isn't it? So this is Ephesians 3, verse 17. That Christ may dwell in your hearts by faith. What could be better than having Christ dwell in your heart, right? He's good. I'm not, but he is. He's dwelling in my heart. That you being rooted and grounded in that love. Now, we said measurable things. What are measurable things in life? Measurable things. Go ahead, Jen. Food, money, health, measurable, time, years, minutes, measurable things. The size of my car, the weight of the car, the house, measurable things. How about, let's make fun of it. Let's do some work on it. My furnace, how much is it consuming? That precious oil that is so expensive. I heard in Finland it's like 10 times or something. Is it going up? So $1 for just $10, $1. Let's say a year ago it was $10. Now it's $100. Like, imagine 10 times. It's measurable things. My paycheck, my weight, my age, numbers of hair on my head, my blood, the blood count, all that chemistry, my blood, oxygen levels, everything measurable. Then you come to immeasurable, and that's Christ in you. You cannot measure the love, cannot measure the joy, cannot measure the peace. You are okay. Paul is in prison, but he killed Christians. How many? I'm okay because Christ is bigger than my sin. Christ is greater than my guilt. Christ is bigger than my trouble, right? So, verse 18, that we would be able to comprehend, and of course, there are two ways of comprehending things about life. One is by measuring them. The other one is by knowing them more deeply. Like, have you ever bought something brand new? You really wanted it. You bought something brand new. You really wanted it, and 5 years later, it's in the trash, huh? Or in the junkyard. Come on, be honest with me. You guys you're quiet and you're clamming up. Make your confession. I wanted that sweater at the mall. I wanted the sweater. 2 years later, it's at the yard sale or in the attic. It doesn't value. The value is gone. The value left. How did the value go? How about, have you ever seen an old picture of yourself? An old picture, the hairdo, the beehive, the Baltimore beehive. Hairdo. Remember? What's that called, Pastor Steve? B? Beehive? Beehive 2? B52? B52 hairdo? Okay. Then in 1967, okay, you had one of those. Now you look at the picture. When my wife finds a picture, she just tears it up. When she finds a picture, I go, Lee, that's history. Come on. Like that's all. It's disappeared. Anything like that bothers her, she rips it up. That's why our marriage is in the condition it's in. It's been ripped to pieces. What? All right. So what does it mean here? You comprehend what? Love. Love. Okay. Verse 18. Be able to comprehend with all saints what is the breadth, length, depth, and height. So you cannot measure. You only have the dimensions, but no numbers. No 100 meters, 100 yards, no numbers. Just the depth of it. The depth of it has no limit, and the height of it. So there's love. Verse 18, 19. And to know the love of Christ, which passes knowledge. And that is like how it is in our marriage with my wife and myself. We have this steady sense, that, okay, we got the measurable things, and then we have Him, the immeasurable one. And that's the way to live. And how? It's by faith in Him. And nobody's any better than anybody else. We just have faith. And somebody has a lot of faith and they apply it and they live by faith. And they say prayers by faith and they walk by faith. And then they find that love that comforts them. And like E. Stanley Jones in the airplane circling for 2 hours before they landed safely, he could say, I'm okay, I'm ready to go. It can happen. I'm okay because of love. And if we can say that all through our life, what an amazing gift that is. And not say it mechanically, but really feel it when your head is on the pillow on a Friday night or wherever you're at in life, or Paul in prison, or wherever we are, I failed again and I failed again, and we find Christ, then that's the great gift that God has given us. And verse 19, and to know the love that might be filled with all the fullness of God. Now to Him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think, above everything we could ask or think, because you can only ask and think in measurable things, like I would like another this or another that, or I want more time. Hezekiah said, I don't want to die now. And God said, I give you 15 more years. Remember, like I would like to ask this or that, or we can put numbers to those things. How many people say, I want more money, I want more years, I want more of this or more of that, but then to think, I will get something that I would never be able to ask for, and it's that peace, that love, that joy that Jesus gives us that is immeasurable. Okay? Amen.